Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for all making a huge effort to cross London. I know it hasn't been easy, but it's great to see you all here this evening. My name's Penny Mountbatten. I think I've met most of you. The reason I'm standing here is I'm a very, very privileged ambassador for both SOUKYA and Founders Health. So I would like to start the evening's presentations off by introducing Dr. Michael Dixon, who is the head of the College of Medicine, which is probably a very good position to start with. Thank you, Dr. Michael.
It's my great pleasure to be asked to introduce a great man, a wizard. And I first met this man through Kim over there, who told me over many years, he said, you must go to SOUKYA, it will change your life. And I think year after year, Kim would tell me, and year after year, I'd say, no, I'm far too busy, I haven't got time, I can't possibly spend a week, 10 days away from the work face. And eventually, Kim prevailed, and I went to SOUKYA, which was a life-changing experience. For those of you who've never been there, what happens when you get to SOUKYA is an extraordinary mix of yoga, of massage, of a healthy diet, healthy living, and time to sort of meditate and consider really why we're here, what we're doing, and all the rest of it. And at the end of the week, I think it was only a week I spent the first time, I felt totally different. And then for the next 2 or 3 months, everyone came up to me and said, are you on something, Michael? You know, well, you've slightly changed. You don't seem to be worrying so much. And I noticed when I got home, I had an in-tray full of difficult decisions. And when I got home, I thought, well, that's easy. Can't think what the problem with that was, etc., etc. And it's a changing experience, SOUKYA. And I'm sure all of you know this, but Ayurvedic medicine precedes even Hippocrates by about 1,000 or 2,000 years. And for me, the extraordinary thing about it is how it accepts this real importance of connection. So in Western medicine, we'll say you've got a frozen shoulder, you've got a tennis elbow, you've got a carpal tunnel. But in the Ayurvedic system, these things are all connected, and with the mind. And it's the bit I think we miss in Western medicine too often, when we look only specifically at one part of the body and one part of the mind, because all these things are connected. And that is the philosophy of Ayurveda. And it's a very personal philosophy. It's a personal medicine, because the other thing I think we've lost in Western medicine is this medicine for you. We tend to fit people down what we nowadays call care pathways, like rats going down holes. This is what you get. And it seems to me that we are now in the age of personal medicine. You know, we've got the biome, we've got the genome, we've got things that are particular to that particular individual. And that's where Western medicine needs to go. Now, there is nothing divisive, I think, between the complementary, between the Ayurveda and the conventional. It's all about whatever is appropriate for you personally. So, you know, if you have a heart attack, you want to have somebody putting in stents and tubes in your heart. But if you want to live healthily, if you want to regenerate, then the sort of thing that's offered at SOUKYA is really, really important. And what saddened me as a GP is this extraordinary divisiveness we create between the different medical traditions. And what we need to do is to bring them together. And that's exactly what my College of Medicine does. We like to look at medicine beyond conventional pills and procedures, looking outside the box. So what I'm going to introduce you tonight by the great Dr. Matai is an adventure, is a journey into something quite different, something very exciting, something which I think is of its time and which is not only healing but also can produce better health. So without more ado, I'm just the warm-up, the Radio 2. I'm going to now hand over to Radio 4, Dr. Isaac Matai.
Thank you, Michael, for his wonderful introduction. Thank you for coming. He's such a very busy person. So middle of working week, he could come over and grace this occasion. And he had been to SOUKYA many times, and he's one of the biggest ambassador or a promoter of SOUKYA globally. So thank you, Michael. And I'm glad that all of you could come over. And then the Founders Health, we a couple of months ago with the Penny, who is the Penny Mountbatten. She is the ambassador for SOUKYA also. And with another event like this with Charles and Nikki Reed recently in Sussex. So we got an idea that, why don't you meet with similar-minded people? So she introduced me to the Founders Health, and Stephen is here, and then Brent couldn't come over, chairman couldn't come over today. Tony will be on Dr. Tony, who will be on the way yesterday. I had a long meeting with him. So we thought that similar-minded people, because by the end of the day, we had to provide healthcare, a genuine healthcare, and the high quality and the best of the best. So we thought that our synergy can work together. And interestingly, SOUKYA is also growing globally, and the Founders Health also looking at global positioning of healthcare. So why not the best of the best Western medicine and best of the best traditional Eastern integrative medicine can't work together? This is a philosophy behind. Michael is working on it, I know, more than 20 years from the before College of Medicine, the Integrative Medical Foundation, to so many activities. So I always say that what is a good medicine is what is good for the person, what is good for the patient. We need scientific evidences, we need investigation, we need all these elements for taking care of a patient, but looking at the person is the most important thing. And few of my old colleagues, like I came to UK, London and end up in working with the Dr. Sharma Senior, and Dr. Sharma, Rajendra Sharma is a good friend of mine and my colleague, knowing for last 40 years. We worked together near Marble Arch, and Kim Jobs is my other good friend from 35 years of history, and many of my good friends, and Wendy is here, and few of the doctors, few of the Victoria's here, and several of them, and few of my patients, those who were in SOUKYA so many times before, they were also invited, but many more new people to understand what we do. And even if so many people come and spend weeks in SOUKYA, I won't give a lecture in SOUKYA, so they may not even understand the full, that holistic understanding about SOUKYA as a healing experience and everything. They experienced and benefited. So it's wonderful to have all of you here, so I could talk something about the philosophy and something little about the SOUKYA in the limited time. We talk about holistic health. A lot of people widely use holistic health as a word, usually use it in many meaning, but in a holistic health meaning of the mind, body, spirit connection. The present world is very happy with the mind and body, but the spirit is, several people are a little bit of allergic to spirit, or several of them, they won't even understand what it is. So it's nowadays one of my job is to see a patient and spending time to make them understand the spirit. As last day, I saw a patient over here. He was 80-year-old. He has many physical issues. But I said, physical issues easy to treat. But what about your mind? He said, yeah, there are some issues. Then we talked about his spirit. So after a while, he said, I have too many things in my spirit rather than my body and the mind. But I don't know what to do. So people usually go to a magician or a guru or somebody to do some magic, and some of them come to me expecting that. But I had to make them in a very medical say that this type of impact on your spirit, in your mind, body, and your several layer of your spirit have its own effect. And I have seen people carrying that toxins in the spirit for more than 70 years and suffering out of it. And most of the good doctors of here, they all experience the same thing with your patients. So it is a harmonious state of mind, body, spirit with a psychological, physiological, environmental, nutritional, emotional, and spiritual aspect. So where even the spiritual aspects, several doctors are not happy to connect with that aspect. But I give prescription as I go and do some prayer and go and do some sunlight and take energy from the universe and all that. So I believe in the impact of prayer in healing, impact of cleansing of your toxicity of the mind. Even forgiveness is one of my biggest prescription. And most of the people cannot even understand how to do forgiveness, or they are so adamant. But I have seen amazing healing happen by doing that forgiveness for years ago, what happened in their life, or somebody did something, or you did something, and all that. So it's interesting. I can talk forever for that because of limited time. I don't want to go on too much on it. So when you heard the holistic and integrative medicine, one aspect is the mind, body, spirit. I would say that holistic, I'm one of my guru was a neurosurgeon, and he was very holistic because his aim is not to do surgery more and more, but some of the conditions like spondylitis and everything, when I watch him dealing with the patient, he said, no need of surgery, go and do this 2 yogic exercise. And in his room, he will show the exercise of the neck. He said, after doing all this, if you are not getting better, then come. Then we look into the surgery. So a lot of things, like recently I have a patient, went to Germany, went to England, did all the investigation, and they, with a chronic headache, he's taking 4 painkillers, and within 10 minutes, for looking at him, I said, you don't need your problems from your neck and back. But he said, I did MRI in Germany, but that's all right. But the MRI won't show you because this is in a much below the MRI level. So within 1 week time, he could stop all the medications. And with the treatments, his center, neck and back and other issues and everything over. And he's a Islamic gentleman from Saudi Arabia. End of 3 weeks, he said, I'm like a new man. I feel like 25. Can I go and marry again? I said, then you have to come back for 2 months of treatment here if you marry one more lady, because what you have is enough. So sometimes people get so better that they want to do something which is not that good for them. So, and also the integration of different systems of medicine. Different countries, different tradition has different methodology. In Africa, you go to herbal medicine. South America, herbal medicine. And in India, yoga, Ayurveda. I went and studied in China. That goes back like 4,000 years of Chinese medicine, acupuncture. Different tradition, and that methodology of treatment has its own benefit effect. I never believe that one system can solve all the problems. So it is a combination or appropriate use of different systems of medicine. So when I use this different systems in India, it's first of this kind. And even in India, even though all the systems are official in India, Ayurveda, homeopathy, naturopathy, yoga, Siddha, Unani, all this, people say, why you are mixing all this? Some of the people start to call me mixopathy. I said, it's not mixopathy. It is an appropriate use of different systems of medicine by the experts. It's not like I'm mixing everything and giving. I have the experts in Ayurveda, homeopathy, naturopathy, and the best of the best Western medical doctors. So we consult and discuss and see how to do it. Even the most complex cases in ICU, after that cardiologist, neurologist, very VIP patient, a health minister's wife. Finally, the best hospital in India said that we cannot handle it. Why don't you go to SOUKYA? He may be able to handle it. I get a lot of patients like that because in a hospital setting, they are not enough time to understand the person. So their focus is focusing on the person, and that may need not 2 hours or 3 hours. Maybe some cases we spend in a week time 35 hours on time to understand what's going on in their life. Sometimes the patient himself doesn't know what's happened in their life. So you need a quiet, peaceful place like SOUKYA or any such places for them to go in their silence and everything to understand how to go deep into what happened in their life story. Nowadays, I do that. I say complex medical condition. I said, I don't want to know about the medical things are already there. The big files are there. But I want to know about your life. What happened in your life? That makes the difference. That story of what happened in age of 13, I can suddenly remember somebody's motor neuron disease. I'm talking about him later. At the age of 10 to 13, the American patient, he was praying for his father to die. And actually prayer worked. Father died at the age of 13 for something else, not because of his prayer. But he felt that his prayer killed my father. So that guilt on him from the age of 13 onwards. And when I met him, he's 63, this many years. I know he got a neurological disease. I won't say everything because of that incident or that situation. But that guilt also is a part of the effect on his spirit. So one of our treatment is to clear that out, to liberate him from that then only his neurological system or his spirit is going to work. But at the end of 1 month stay, his symptoms started to improve. But yes, motor neuron disease is not going to be cured. That's the day one I told them. But instead of the American doctor said that your case is going to last, you are going to last only for 2 or 3 years. I said, that is not the decision by you or the doctor. So do the treatment. Let us see whether you can survive for 5 or 10 or 20 years. We have such cases happen before they survived. So why don't we do the treatment properly? And he's improved his symptoms. So that is a combination or an integration of different systems of medicine is the next way of doing it. And when you look at the present world, more than infectious diseases, more issues are happening with the poor lifestyle. I don't explain more about that lifestyle. So the lifestyle, stress, eating habits, major issue with eating habits, that's all need guidance. And majority of good doctors, they're not trained to talk about eating habits. Then they'll say go to a nutritionist. Nutritionists look at everything in a calorie basis. And it's a very complex world. Actually, the College of Medicine do a lot of things about nutrition, and even cooking is very important. Food is very important. That is sustaining your health on a long-term basis. But no doctors are knowledgeable about it to advise, or they are too busy in a GP practice or anything like that. So it's difficult. And the working environment today is so crazy. A city like Bangalore, the traffic alone is enough to make you so crazy about. And it's not one time. It's every day. The working environment, the stress and issues and your promotions and your bonuses. And recently I met a patient, he's upset that he didn't get $5 million bonus. I said, what? You're getting a good salary, $200,000, $300,000 isn't good enough. No. The other fellow got 6 million, so I should get 5 million. They are in trading. So how do the competition of how much more money you need? So our doctor's job is also to make him understand that life is not about millions. Life is about maintaining your life. Emotional issues. Sleep is a major issue. A lot of people ignore sleep. And proper understanding about the issues about the sleep and proper sleep is very important. I would say fundamental thing for maintaining a good health is sleep and proper rest. And the exercise, always, either at least do a walking or swimming and different things of yoga, different ways of exercise. Nowadays, people are very, very, recently when I attended the College of Medicine conference, that there are research find out that not even 6,000 step to 7,000 step, your lifespan will increase another 3 years, just by 1,000 step in a daily basis. So like that, so many research and scientific evidences helping us to understand better way of doing exercises and walking and many, many other form of things. And environmental pollution, major things. Recently, one location in near Bangalore, one small village, 7 to 10 young 30 to 45 people dying in 1 week time. So government started to investigate everything, and somebody said COVID, somebody said this. Finally, when I met with the health minister and chatted with him, the health minister said it's most probably the environmental issues, mainly in that village because of the overuse of pesticide. That's what they are trying to find out. Because in India, there is not much control of use of pesticide in spraying. So maybe they overused it and they all consumed it. That got a problem with the health, and young people are dying. So then when you go at the process of the healing, we always try in a holistic philosophical way that people also need to accept, and people has to have a desire and seek and ready to do things and believe in the process. When I ask them to go for 7 rounds of walking and breathing or a stand in the sun, they should believe in that process. Whether they agree or not, they have to believe as a benefit out of it, because I am talking from a experience of myself or with a lot of patients' experiences, how they transform by doing simple things in life. Simply standing in front of the sunlight and taking the breathing, the sunlight, or the breathing, or walking, or silence. All this has its own effect on somebody's mind and healing process. So when we go into the healing of the body is most of the doctors, normal doctors, are dealing with the body issues, diseases and everything. But when you really take a person, even without a disease, and if you release the toxins, which is now scientifically proved that releasing of toxins will extend your lifespan. We are also doing some research in that line. and improvement of the functionality, whether a simple intestinal functionality, how much a complication happen by constipation. A lot of people carry on their life with the constipation, not enough bowel movements, not inappropriate breathing. A lot of people coming to me, I can straight away see that they are not breathing properly. If you are not breathing properly, how your system is going to be energized, how you are going to perform. So this type of normal functions we improve, everything's hard to improve. And the prevention of illness, especially lifestyle-related diseases, we have to prevent by changing the lifestyle. So 10 to 15 years before somebody develop a diabetes or a arthritis or any neurological diseases, if they get the early sign or some family history, they should do things to correct that, prevent the illnesses by do corrective lifestyle. So that need a health consultant or a right people to advise them. So we do all that things. And the exercise and diet is another major area which I mentioned, that the different kind of diet. There are enough and more diets are written in America and here and all over the world. But a healthy, fresh food which is organic. And if you do that, not overeating, then that is the best way of doing. Then, and also traditionally what they eat, that's very important. That's what we focus. While they are in SOUKYA, we give them a vegetarian diet, but we are not converting anybody. What we are doing is those who are overeating meat, that's a phenomenon now globally, reduce the overeating meat in case, and make a healthy food habits and give them a training for how to eat in a better way. That training will help them to change their lives. People ask me when they come and go back what they do. I say if they are good patients or good people, they spend all the time, they learn this, go back and practice. And this is very easy to practice, and we call it as a conscious eating. So you are consciously understand and eat, that will change everything. 3 weeks time your metabolism change, your liver change, everything change. So that type of approach is important for that. And the healing of the mind and the breathing is one of the most powerful tools, which is in whether yogic understanding or religious understanding. In any all religious practices we look at it, always breathing has a major impact. Second is the awareness. This is what is. People are well connected with the internet, but not connected with themselves. So connecting themselves is very, very important. For that needs silence and time and mindfulness. That will help people to connect themselves. And the emotions. Everybody will have emotions, but how to balance, I would say more than control, how to balance your emotions. What are the practices you do to balance it out? This time, this kind of practices help the mind even in a normal sense, not necessarily in a medical time. And the healing of the spirit, the power of prayer. And somebody is not even believe in God also, we make them to do some practices, at least dialogue with the universe, dialogue with the energy surrounding you. That make a big change. And the meditation, power of meditation is, there are enough and more research done in all over the world about the effect of meditation. I'm practicing meditation for the last 41 years. That give you amazing benefit. And there are so many different kind of meditation practices can help not only your sense of well-being, but your mind, you're sharpening your mind and your ideas and your guidance. So many things happen through the meditation. One of the things we do it in SOUKYA is the silence. We encourage people to be silent and keep the mobile phone away, connect with the nature, be themselves. In a lot of cases, friends want to come together. I said, no, better not to come together, then we'll be chatting all the time. To be alone. And husband and wife, I said, no, don't come. Unless you have to resolve a problem, come, I'll resolve it. Otherwise, stay away, because of that self-time will help for them. Otherwise, they have to come for a fixed time. They have deal with their friend or a partner. Other times to their own time with their own space. And a lot of self-dialogue is also very, very important for this. So India's traditional system, which is an official systems of medicine, practiced in India in the government of India's with the institutions and research centers and so many things from the Ayurveda, which is 4,000-year-old methodology, to yoga and naturopathy, which will go back to thousands of years. And Unani is a system medicine, came from Greece to Arabia, from Arabia to India, and now in India it's called Islamic medicine because of from Arabia. In India, that's also not widely, a certain percentage of practice in different parts of India with institutions and training centers, everything. And Siddha is a South Indian sort of Ayurveda. And the homeopathic medicine started from Germany, came to India, and now is very popular in India, one of the most popular system of medicine in India. So when you look at the Ayurveda, which has more than 5,000 years of Indian herbal treatment with more than 6,000 herbs are identified. And on a regular basis, more than 600 herbs are used in different, the most famous, even the turmeric to ashwagandha. So many herbs are very popular nowadays. But there are amazing neurochemical changes, biochemical changes with the Ayurvedic herbs. And it's appropriate use of that in a proper treatment to balance the Vata Pitta Kapha concept of and Ayurvedic diet. That make a big change in people's short-term and long-term health. So, and also special Ayurvedic treatment for medical condition. There are two aspects. One is a preventive aspect, that without any medical issue, do a course of 2 to 3 weeks of Ayurvedic program called Panchakarma or an Ayurvedic program. That will make a huge impact. I do that last 20 years every year. And I know a lot of my guest or patients come and do it every year. That will maintain the system very well. Even people in 80s start to do it. They have, after 1 or 2, 3 years, their aging process is going backwards, and their sensation, feeling, and experiences, neurological symptoms are getting settled, and their rest of their life is much more healthier and beneficial. And many treatment like that with Ayurvedic methodology. And homeopathy is, again, I mentioned that 200 years in India, there are millions of patients are taking homeopathy every day in India in the government clinics, government hospitals, and private practitioners. And I know some of the, it may be difficult to believe, here the GPs will see a patient 30, 40, 50, 100. I have clinics in the government clinics where homeopathy doctor is meeting 200 people in a day, but most of it is acute diseases, not the chronic ones. But the mass number of people go for homeopathic medicine. So naturopathy, the Indian naturopathy, a formal medical program. So the doctor qualified in 5 years of training in naturopathy and yoga. So there is a different methodology of water therapies which have a positive effect in somebody's health and well-being if you do it in a particular number of days. So our qualified naturopathy doctors will guide them and help them and do the treatment protocol, and even the simple water treatment for the feet and back and spine and things like that. Amazing effect, depends on medical conditions. And also simple cleansing of your large intestine to your enemas and liver packs and all that. I won't say that it's going to be a solution for every diseases, but it'll add on to the impact of the other treatments. So it'll have a positive effect. So the combination of different systems make a big difference. And as you all know about yoga, yoga and meditation. So the yogic asanas and also meditation and other relaxation technique and breathing technique. A lot of people, last time I met somebody, they said, I love energy yoga. I said, what is that? Oh, I want to keep on doing it all the time and sweating. I said, that's exercise. That's good exercise. But that's not yoga. When you do yoga, it should be calming you. Your breathing shouldn't go up too much. And your every action, every asana, every exercise or every step should cover with your breathing and your mind and full involvement with that. Otherwise, it's not yoga. There's nothing wrong with doing jumping around yoga. No, that's okay. That's a good exercise. So why don't you differentiate that, and why don't you do 3 days of jumping and 3 days of calming? I said, there's too much of fire in you, so you need a little bit of balance. So there's different kriyas. I remember 40 years ago when I came here to UK, I carried a big bag full of neti pots. Nose washing pot is one of the very good tool to cleanse your nostrils in a daily basis. And a lot of patients, and I trained so many doctors in Europe and here, so how to use it and how to help your patients by practicing this type of simple practices. So who is going to teach them all this? So when they come to a health facility, the nose washing, eye washing, all the different kriyas, different methodology is very useful for improve your somebody's health in a preventive as well as curative. Look at so many different methodology. I would say that these are the things, mud therapy or a magnetotherapy. It is not necessary that every disease will get cured, but this combination of this methodology will help the healing process. So there's a lot of obstacles for cure, and delay in cure can be helped by different kind of methodology. That's why the combination, whether it's acupuncture is by itself is a big methodology. But if you look at the hydrotherapies or molecular therapy, it has its own effect in a selected way. So that is a use of a holistic physician to work with experts or specialists in different areas. There's no doctor cannot be expert on everything. So use these different methods to bring it together with expert, work together. That will give the best results. That's why the best of the best Western medical approaches and best of the best traditional medical approaches. That's what I see as the future of medicine. So we have done with some research on our treatment on the patient and do the biomarkers in the first phases. So we have seen that amazing changes in the biomarkers, the detoxification. And we have a journalist from UK came and they published in Financial Times that about 3 weeks of treatment, before that, our Dr. Sabine Donne did a blood test, everything here, they measuring the toxicity, especially in this case of lead toxicity. And after 3 weeks of treatment and then waiting for 3 weeks, did the test again, all the toxicity of the lead is gone. Like the lead, so many other toxins in the system can be released by a proper treatment. And also the inflammatory markers, effect of inflammatory markers, that is showing that the inflammation, because today the Western medicine also agree with the ancient understanding in Ayurveda that every disease is starting from inflammation. So that was in a different language, Ayurveda is talking that pitta is inflammation. But today the scientific world is agreed that every chronic diseases has an effect of inflammation. So whether you have a particular disease or not, that inflammatory changes can release, you can release or reduce your disease won't come up. So that is proved anyway. And immune markers are improving. Then from this, one of my patients, he's a information technology Mughal, and he 80 years old, he came for 2 weeks of treatment. And he has some medical issue, but more than medical issue, he see that suddenly 80-year-old man is running around like a 70-year-old. So he said, you people are doing some magic. I want to, because they're very scientifically oriented. He offered us to do $1 million research project. We find out that we don't need million, we need about $250,000 to do it. And one of the top teaching hospital in India called St. John's Medical College, they do research wing for globally they are doing research. So they are very high level of research, high level of credibility and all that. Now, at the moment, 70 patients are, so what else we can measure? We did the measuring on the blood. Then we said we'll measure something more. Then we looked at actually Michael Dixon introduced me to the Elizabeth Blackburn. She was the Nobel Prize winner in telomeres in one of our conferences here. So I always had an idea that if anti-aging is working with anybody, the age 80 years also, why can't we measure what? So instead of telomeres, we started to, they also discussed with the research team that we can measure the molecules in the DNA. That's the ultimate we can measure. Now at the moment we have 15 days treatment, 70 patients. Whatever the reason they came, patient or people coming for SOUKYA, did the test. They couldn't believe it. They said any research, you'll see 30%, 80% benefit. But here everybody is changing. They're not ready to declare it outside. But the interesting thing is everyone, then they recommended us instead of more than 50 years old, why don't you take it even from 18 years old? So 18 years we are taking just for observation, and 50 to above, now 70 patients, another 30 people come in, we can get the final results early next year. I am very sure that we'll get a huge positive impact on these changes in the DNA. And if you think that any treatment can changes in the molecules in the DNA, that will be amazing. Because that is focused on correction in the imbalances in a simple language, imbalances in the system. And there are different kind of Ayurveda treatment. People generally ask me, so you can do an Ayurveda treatment for a day, Ayurveda treatment for a week. But generally speaking, there is a general Ayurvedic treatment you can do for a couple of weeks. Then only you will have a long-lasting effect. And there's a very special name called Panchakarma that needed 21 days of the scheduled treatment in a particular way. And that's an amazing result we can see. I have seen we have many people come not because of diseases, just to improve health, to come and do the 21 days. And recently I have a couple there in their mid-30s from Dubai came over, and then they did the treatment. I asked them, what made you to come and do it? He said, no, we are curious about it. So the regimented way, regimen is not that easy. Enemas and intestinal cleansing and so many things are there. But end of it, I said, what? Because there is nothing to measure in that case, other than DNA test we can test. So they said end of it, their experience is they are feeling so light that the same people walking through the grass, they said, we are not walking through the grass. We are feeling our system is so light that we are floating through the grass. So that's another experience. So anyway, the 21 days program, 15 days anti-aging program, there are so many different things can help. A lot of people come for 2 to 3 weeks because that will give a long-lasting effect. We have noticed that once they go through the program, then for a 6 to 8 months, first year, they'll see major changes, sustainable changes. Then the second year they do, that lasts more than 1 year. And third year, a lot of cases, the aging process is reversing. I have seen it 60s, 70s, 80s, all that age group people. And now I have people come for 21 years every year. Some of them are 87. They are better than 65 in every aspect. So that is a methodology of treatments. So I always put it in a 2-3 different way of treating. One is a preventive care, which I mentioned that a lot of conditions, the treatment protocol can do preventive. That treatment or a health improvement and preventive for many diseases like early stages of diabetes or prevent the diabetes, good treatment. And the curative is the other area where when you do a proper treatment, the condition can completely reverse. If it is osteoarthritis, even in the stage of knee replacement, we won't be able to reverse it. But the early stages of osteoarthritis, we can easily reverse it. And people are taking for antacids and medicines for the acid reflux and all that for years. Without treatment, it's completely settled, completely back to normal life. And menopausal issues and hormonal issues, a lot of cases with spondylitis and disc prolapses, we could completely settle it. Even people in later 70s and 80s, musculoskeletal issues with the joints and other places, a course of treatment of 2 to 3 weeks and change completely. And this is a small list. We have more than 100 conditions we can treat. Some of it is curative, some of it is supportive. Like conditions like motor neuron diseases, Parkinson's, all that, we won't be able to cure it, but we can maintain them in a better shape along with the Western medicine. For example, in cancer, we always say that some people come to us and say that do only our treatment. We say, no, let us do the best of the best. So meet with the oncologists, we'll discuss with them. Most of the oncologists now support our methodology and do together. That give a better effect, even chemotherapy side effects, and then their immune system is improving. The response toward the medications better, which we observed, and a lot of we collaborate with the oncologists around the world. So that case is also. But early stage of Parkinson's, what we notice is we can eliminate the symptom completely and maintain them. We have several patients, we are maintaining them like without developing the disease. But if somebody asks me, will it be completely cured forever? I said, no. I don't know. I don't think so. But we can maintain you. Even can extend your symptoms for not developing for the next 10 years, 15 years. Why not? So we handle all the different cases and we are very honest and straightforward about what we can do, what we cannot do. So it is always be clear with the patient, because out of our inquiries, maybe 30% of the cases we cannot treat. So we tell them very clearly, don't even come. We cannot treat. Some of it is hereditary diseases, some of it genetical diseases, and some of it is like a brain tumor is already growing and spreading everywhere. We said, don't waste your time with us. We won't be able to even help you. But there are so many prostate cancers and other cancers. We have several of them get a very positive effect. And when they go back into their country, their oncologists are saying that is unbelievable changes happening with you. Go back again and do whatever they are doing. We don't know, but go back and do it. So a small example, like Crohn's disease, they take steroids and so many issues. Young person, 25 years. Again, this person's case is happening from the 3-year-old onwards, the fight between the parents. And that anxiety. Then he came to England to study. And in the boarding school, he has issues with racial discrimination and stress and all that thing. From there, he started to get worse and worse. So it took about 15 hours of discussion with him to understand, because he was not opening up, or he doesn't know where it started. So we did treatment, everything for a while, and so the impact of that one is, all the symptoms, and he was taking up at least 8 medications. We could stop all the antidepressants and anxiety medicines, and his intestine started to get better. And by the time he left, we could reduce most of his medicine. When we planned that next 3 to 6 months, he has a consultant in London and other place, discuss with them, and step by step we'll eliminate your or medicines. And other cases like which I mentioned about motor neuron disease and osteoarthritis. That's very common. People coming in US and other parts of the world in wheelchair and which you cannot walk and all that. With the proper treatment protocol, 3 to 4 weeks, and they're walking around now. People are treated in their 80s. They are still walking around. They come every year for the treatment, and not only their osteoarthritis, all their overall health is better. The swelling is gone. They can have a normal life and function. That is a positive impact. Carcinoma, I mentioned that. This is a gentleman from Russia, and his oncologist asked him to go. He has still go every 6 months. We said, no, you don't have to come every 6 months, once a year. So he's coming now, second visit, third visit, like that, and we are helping them. We are not saying that we are going to cure him forever, but we can help them. So the SOUKYA is a 30-acre organic farm with different systems of medicine, with organic and all the vegetables, and we grow thousands of medicinal plants to make our own Ayurvedic medicines. And it's a first of this kind accredited Ayush hospital in India. And we have patients, about 125 nationalities coming to us. We have a lot of people regularly coming. We are setting up a place in Portugal in the near future. We got the land and everything, because a lot of Europeans, Americans coming all the way to India on a regular basis, or once in 6 months, difficult. So that will be another couple of years we'll be doing that. It's an eco space. So what you breathe, what you eat, everything is very organic and clean, fresh. And with the 4,000 trees we planted in a barren land, it is breathing for you. And you just walk around with the connect with the nature. That itself is healing. So the entire focus is what I mentioned about different systems of medicine and mind, body, spirit impact. And team of doctors, with Ayurveda, naturopathy, different doctors. We have 8 doctors to look after 25 to 30 guests. So it's a very personalized attention. Morning yoga in the morning, yoga in the evening, in between treatments, and follow up with them around the world. And medicines are sent around the world. And we have very good accommodation. But the thing is, when I'm working with Dr. Sharma in London, and we have patients from America and everywhere, a lot of famous people, everybody come. And it was practically impossible to establish such a place with a cost factor and where there are so many factors in UK. So I was talking to a lot of my American patients, and they said, no, India, wherever it is, will come. But you should have a better quality of facilities. So we made sure that we have a very high upmarket facilities with the accommodations and treatment center and everything. And so that helped a lot. We have only 25 rooms, but we have different category rooms, and those are coming. And every room is connected to the nature. So people feel like you are not in a room. We are part of the nature. And we have all the practices like solar power, organic farming, rainwater harvesting, wind energy, vermicompost, medicinal garden. Biogas is from the cow dung. We make gas for cooking gas. So what all eco-friendly things we can do. In the 30-acre, not a single drop of water go outside. We'll cultivate, we'll bring it into the water harvesting, we use it for the farming. So it is a very good eco-friendly model. We have 135 species of birds from around the world coming over as an oasis, because of the chemical-free water, chemical-free fruits and food over there. And like that. We do the several programs like stress management, weight management, rejuvenation. That's a wellness program. About 30% of the people come for health improvement and anti-aging and Ayurvedic programs. And about 70% of the people come for medical issues. De-addiction is one of our areas, and rehab rehabilitation, medical conditions, metabolic disorders, musculoskeletal diseases, all that we do. So we have people from, as I mentioned, 125 countries, and a lot of people from around the world come for treatments in many times of the year, and they get benefited. That's why they're coming back again and again.